Hey guys, welcome to another Q&A.
Vlog your daily routine / practice routines.
I wish I had a daily routine / practice routine. If I did, I would be a much better guitar player than I am now.
How to respond to someone saying 3-4.
Then, why?
Cliches in songwriting and chord progressions.
I'm assuming you're talking about something like this. This one I call the With or Without You. And this one I call the Twist and Shout. I think cliches like this happen because people tend to feel safe and comfortable with songs that they find familiar, if that makes sense. So songs like Twist and Shout also work into The Spirit is on fire with passion and love. And With or Without You also works into She will be loved. She will be loved. Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. If you check, I think it's Axis of Awesome, they've got a whole 20-minute medley of songs with that kind of chord progression. That would be the 1, 5, 6, 4 progression. I think I actually put a medley together a couple of years back with the 1, 4, 5, which I think I'll do a video on at some point. I think as far as like lyric writing goes and cliches go, that a lot of cliches are actually quite cute, and as corny as they are, it makes people feel warm inside and like, oh, this I can totally relate to this because I feel like this as well. Like I'm drawn to you like a moth to a flame and all that kind of stuff. It's quite sad, actually, but it's true, and I don't like it. I hate those kind of progressions and those kind of lyrics, which is probably why I've never sold 1 million copies.
Deconstruct a playthrough of one of your favorite songs, like how you break it down to learn it, etc.
That's a really, really good idea. I'm going to dedicate a whole new video to that because that's something I think a lot of people could actually learn from.
Capo or no capo?
Well, it really depends on what kind of music you're playing, I suppose. But I've got nothing against a capo, especially when it's something that requires lots of open strings. Like, let's take this for an example. Let's take a chord progression like one mentioned earlier. Now that would sound much better with open strings. I'm going to put a fake capo on this guitar. Here we go. So we've got a fake capo on the first fret. So we go. Sounds a lot prettier and it's got a lot more of an open feel to it. So yeah, if you want to take the key up or play something in with more open chords, go ahead, use a capo, they sound great.
Hiring a good singer versus a hot-looking singer.
That really does depend on what you're trying to achieve. If you're just trying to get your 5 minutes of fame, get a hot singer, slash some auto-tune on her, and you'll be good to go. No one will remember you, or no one will remember your music anyway, they might remember your singer. But that's for the wrong reason. If you're trying to achieve godlike status, it doesn't really matter what your singer looks like. It's all about the tonality of their voice. I mean, look at Ann Wilson from Heart, look at Mick Jagger, look at Steven Tyler, look at Celine Dion. None of those singers were particularly attractive, but they've all got very unique voices. And they've had hits for how many years? For 20 plus years. You know, some of them 30 plus years, some of them 40 plus years. So it really does depend on what you're trying to achieve. That would be my answer. But there's no reason why you can't have both.
Did you make the production video yet?
No, I didn't. But I will. I don't really consider myself a particularly good mixer or masterer or anything like that. But I can do them. So I will do a video in the next couple of weeks kind of going through the methods I use.
How to approach singing and playing, i.e. dealing with conflicting rhythms, etc.
I think the mistake a lot of people make is focusing on the two things as separate entities. Like, okay, I'm going to think about what I'm supposed to be singing and think about what I'm supposed to be playing. Where you should be focusing on it being a whole. So what you're singing and playing becomes one instrument. A really good way to practice this is checking out the bass lines of songs and trying to sing along and play the bass lines. Let's take another comment I got and use this as an example. Lessons in Love, level 42. You know, the cool triplet arpeggio bass line that he sings over so effortlessly. I think it goes something like this. Obviously, before you start, you need to be able to sing the part flawlessly and play the part flawlessly, which in this example, I can't. But I'm going to try, just as an example. So I have the lyrics in front of me here. We're going to take the first verse. Okay, for some reason I lost footage here, but what I'm trying to explain is that you need to combine the rhythmic pattern of the vocal and the bass together and make it one thing. 85% of the... Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. That kind of thing. Okay, so now let's try play and sing it. I'm not proud, I was wrong, and the truth is hard to take. I felt sure we've had enough, but our love went overboard. And so forth. Okay, now let's take it up to original tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not proud, I was wrong, and the truth is hard to take. I felt sure we've had enough, but our love went overboard. Lifeboat lies lost at sea. I've been trying to reach your shores. Waves of doubt keep drowning me. And so forth and so forth. I think the important thing here is not to see them as two things. You've got to look for the pattern, look for the rhythmic pattern between them. Let's take it a long train running, for instance. Down around the corner, half a mile from here, you see them long trains running. You watch them disappear without love. Would you be right now? It's finding the pattern. Da 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 da. That kind of thing. I hope that helped.
What would you consider important when hiring musicians? How important is tone versus tech versus being a total dick, etc.?
Being a total dick is the most important thing when you don't want to be hired for a gig. It doesn't matter how good you are, how well you can play, how good you sound. If you're a dick, no one will hire you. As far as the tone versus tech debate goes, I think tone is way more important than tech. I've heard guys sound great on really shitty gear and other guys sound shit on a really great gear. So I really think what it boils down to is what does the player sound like and how well he gets on with others.
The difference between inexperienced bands having band practice on stage and pro bands having a production that's worth paying for.
I'm not entirely sure what you mean by the difference between the two topics, but as far as inexperienced bands having stage practice, I think that's a great thing, but they shouldn't be having their band practice on stage. Get your act nice and tight and polished before you take it to the stage. Nerves will play a part, especially if you're inexperienced. Mistakes will happen, but if you know the song well enough, you can recover from that mistake. Try not to let the nerves get the better of you. I think it's very important for inexperienced bands to get stage time. So even if it's doing free gigs, go do open mic sessions or play house parties or something like that. Also, film those gigs or record them, and then you can see where you need to improve. As far as pro bands having a production that's worth paying for, absolutely. That's the only way you're going to be able to compete with the international acts. And those productions are second to none. If you get your mix back and it sounds like shit, don't pay. Okay, let me just elaborate on this a little bit. I'm really sick of artists in this country paying top dollar for so-called top-notch productions and getting garbage back. If you paid a fortune for your mix and it sounds like shit, don't pay. I'm certainly not advocating not paying for a good mix. But if you're promised a good mix and don't receive a good mix, don't pay until you've received that good mix. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. And if you've got any questions for the next Q&A, please leave them in the comments below. See you next time. Bye!